Hey guys, it's Tacho here, and we're back with some more Fire Emblem Heroes. And where do we even begin with this one, guys? This is by far the most insane update that this game has gotten since the beginning. You all know me, I have been playing since day one, and not since the day this game has came out have I seen an update this game-shattering. And we're going to talk about all that stuff in a second, so strap yourselves in, because this one might be a bit on the long side, but there's just so much to discuss in this update. We're going to be here for a while, so let's just start with the units. So we do have stat leaks for the units that were revealed in the trailer. So here is the Flame Emperor as a Grand Hero Battle prize, as I expected. And 178 BST, that's really good for a free-to-play unit. Currently, that is the highest, and if I'm not mistaken, if you get this unit up to plus 10, they will be in the same scoring bin as Surtur as far as BST is concerned. So that's a huge win for free-to-play, and this is definitely going to make your Tier 21 endeavors a whole lot easier. So let's take a look at the stats now. Neutral, of course, since it's a free unit. 50 HP, we've got 40 attack, 25 speed, 37 defense, and 26 res. So a very similar stat line to some of the Hector units, like Legendary Hector and Valentine's Hector. Of course, Hector does have the advantage of having boons and banes, and in a lot of cases, Hector has super boons and attacks, so 40 attack, though, is still very impressive for a free unit, especially one with a BST this high. So a very overwhelmingly good unit as far as stats are concerned. But when it comes to skills, this unit kind of sucks. Well, I don't want to say they suck, but I mean, Wary Fighter, Bracing Stance, Ignis, Guard Axe, like, come on, this is not really that spicy for a unit like the Flame Emperor. So they're definitely banking on the fact that you're just going to merge the unit to plus 10 and then go nuts with the skill inheritance. So they're giving us this great unit, but then the rest is on us to make them awesome. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is still a win, I would say. Okay, Ferdinand von Eyre, this boy. He is guaranteed as a 4-star summon now, so all that talk about him being a demote looks like it came to be true. He has a 162 BST, not too bad for cavalry actually. His HP is 41, he's got 32 attack, 35 speed, 30 defense, and 24 res. And he's got super boons in just res, it looks like, which isn't actually too shabby. 30 defense and 28 res, pretty solid for a defensive unit. And speed, his speed is not too shabby either, but 32 attack is a little low. He kind of reminds me of Tsubaki a little bit, but with, of course, a better BST and not a flying unit. But I don't know, he could be okay as a merge project, but the main thing that you should take away from him being a 4-star is that we now have a free-to-play Rouse skill that you can inherit on your characters, and reposition is pretty good too. So Ferdinand, he's holding it down for the fodder summon. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Annette. She has a 173 BST, and her stats are 40 HP, 39 attack, 36 speed, 28 defense, and 30 res. And she has a super boon in attack, and that is massive, man. 43 attack, they were like going nuts when they made this unit. And we already talked about her weapon, how crazy it is that you could just rally on a unit and give them +1 movement for the turn. Like, that's so insane. She's totally going to be a unit to look out for, especially in Aether raids. So keep an eye out for Annette. She's got the stats to back it up, and she's got this insane weapon effect. So good stuff there. Okay, Bernie is up next with a 156 BST. I was expecting her to have maybe a little higher than that, but I mean, I guess they decided to temper expectations a bit with her, so she's not like completely insane. Her weapon is really ridiculous, giving desperation, attack and speed up 5, and then she's got like lull, speed and defense, and attack and speed push. So they definitely balanced her slightly. I don't want to say completely though. 32 attack, 38 speed, 22 defense, 26 res, and 38 health. And she has super boons in HP, speed, and res. So she's not really a glass cannon completely. Her defense is trash, but her res is like mid. And then her speed could be very good with plus speed. Her attack being 32 is honestly a little higher than I thought, because when I saw that her weapon gave plus 3 attack, I was thinking, oh, so they're going to give her like 30 base attack or 29 base attack. But no, they actually went on the high end and they gave her 32, which is pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie, guys, that's straight up bananas on a unit like this with her weapon. But we'll have to wait and see. Of course, there are a lot of good bow units in the game, like Legendary Leaf is another one, and Legendary Alm, and the one that we got on the Mirage banner, I forget her name. So there is very stiff competition when it comes to colorless bows, but I think Bernie is definitely going to hold her own. And last up, we've got Lysithea with a 160 BST. I'm kind of shocked also with her BST. I thought it would be higher, but they did want to temper her a little bit because her stats are just insane. So 37 HP, 41 attack, 37 speed, 21 defense, and 24 res, with super boons in HP, attack, and res. So she's also glass cannon just like Bernie, but she's got way more speed than I thought. I thought she'd be at like 34 speed, but nah, they just went and gave her 37 speed. And a freaking 41 attack stat, that's obnoxious, guys. 41 attack, holy crap. With a super boon as well. I believe this makes her the highest attack out of any mage unit in the game. I could be wrong about that. I think maybe that Mirage character, what was like Curlia or something, I don't remember her name, but I think she might be the only unit that can compete with this attack stat. But Lysithea just came out of nowhere with the highest attack stats, so as far as mages are concerned. So yeah, like this is going to be a nuts unit. I already talked about her in the breakdown as well. She's got a really good skill set. So Lysithea fans, rejoice. We got a really good version of this character. Okay, so we have the remaining paths for the Divine Code characters. So we did actually see this one, the Heroes path and the Mystery and Shadows path, in the original trailer where they talked about this. But we have a genealogy path here, looking like Fire Emblem 4 and 5 with Leaf, Deidre, Sigurd, Levin, and Dancing Ishtar. That's actually crazy, having Levin and Dancing Ishtar. This guy, of course, has Special Spiral, and she's got Swift Sparrow 3. So, like, top tier fodder skills right there, absolutely. And over here we've got Fortress Defense and Res 3 from Cliff, and Pegasus Carrot on her, a very, very good weapon, along with Disarm Trap. So if you're playing in Aether Raids, this is an amazing skill to get on some of your units. I don't really know too many of the skills on these guys, because none of these units really stood out to me too well. Not too much else to talk about this. It is nice to see the remaining paths though. And I was right about the Love of Bonds Hector thing, so Distant Counter free to play now. Yippee on that. Okay, so here's another thing. Colorless tomes. Okay, I did not expect them to do this. And there is speculation right now on the Reddit that this is actually going to be a rock tome, like rock type magic. I've never really seen that in Fire Emblem, I don't think anyway. Unless you want to count like Meteor, but Meteor is fire, so I don't know, man. But when they added colorless magic, I was expecting it to be light type, like, I don't know, Mythic Athos or something, or light type Micaiah. I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do with colorless tomes, but it looks like it's going to be based on rock magic, apparently, so there is that to consider. But this is food for thought, so I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. And here is the big game shaker that I was talking about at the start. Okay, Forma Soul. An enigmatic treasure used to transform Forma units into allies by imbuing them with souls. Oh my god. What do I even say to that? Okay, so we've been playing in Hall of Forms. It's a really fun mode, and we just start off with 4 fresh units, all at level 10, and we're free to level them up, train them however we want, give them whatever skills we want, and merge them as well. And now you're telling me I can have one of those characters as an ally? Like, this is insane to the max. Like, I don't know what else to say. Ridiculous. And we have also the price. So in order to get these Forma Souls, you have to buy them in the shop, and it's going to be $29.99 for this. But not only are you getting the Forma Soul, you're also getting 60 orbs as well. And I believe 60 orbs in the orb shop. I'm not too sure how much that is, but it totally has to be around this price. So you're getting the orbs, and then you're getting the Forma Soul as well, so you can recruit any Forma unit you want. I have to be honest, it's hard for me to say this is a bad deal. Like, I know $30 is very expensive, and if you're free to play, this is just not acceptable at all. But if you're a person like me who has spent money on the game in the past, and you don't really mind spending money as long as you're getting your money's worth, it's very hard for me to say this is a bad deal. And let's go over the Forma Souls a little more in depth over here. So these are just examples. The Forma units are going to be blue starred characters, so 5 stars are usually gold, and these guys are going to be blue. And here's a bit of info on the Forma units. So after the Hall of Forms, you can exchange Forma Souls to gain a Forma unit as an ally. And Forma Souls will be periodically available for purchase in the shop. As we showed already, it's going to be $29.99. And Forma allies will keep the skills and levels they earn within the Hall of Forms. So any skills that you inherit on your Forma characters, and we all know, by God, that those skills are busted as all hell, they're going to keep all of those. Like, are you kidding me? That's insane. Forma allies will lose the merges. Okay, so they did balance it in that regard. And Sacred Seals as well, when you earn them in Hall of Forms. So you can only get level 40 and the skill inheritance from your weapon, your assist, your special, and the A through C slot passives. So no seals and no merges. And the restrictions are, Formas cannot be used as the source for merges or to inherit skills, nor can they be used to make combat manuals. Okay, so if you buy a Forma unit, you're not allowed to use them as a merge for another character. So using this Reinhardt as an example, let's say I've got Sword Reinhardt in my barracks at +8, and then I buy this guy as a Forma. I would not be able to merge him into that +8 Reinhardt, but I would actually be able to do the opposite and merge the +8 Reinhardt into this guy, and then get a +9 Reinhardt. The only downside, of course, is that he would be the Forma at that point, and it looks like the Formas are always going to have neutral IVs. So there is that to consider. That is one way that they've balanced this. But, I mean, in the long run, you're still getting all of those busted skills on the unit without having to waste any resources on skill inheritance. So even though it's not like exactly perfect 100%, this is still really good. Especially if you're struggling to get the units you want, or in the event that, let's say, you tried to summon a unit with orbs and you were not able to get them. Like, let's say Leaf is your favorite character, and on his banner you spent a lot of orbs, but you were unlucky and you didn't get them. They're giving you the option now to just straight up buy a Leaf, and not only buy him, but just build him up as well. Give him all the skills you want, and then just add him to your barracks, and he's going to be totally decked out with awesome skills, and he's going to be busted. And if you don't care about merges, or you don't care about arena, and you just care about playing your favorites and winning with them, this is actually a really big win for people like that. And I can appreciate it, but I can also kind of see where this is a greedy tactic in the same regard. So I'm not sure how I feel about this just yet. Like, initially, I am thinking that this is a pretty good deal, even though it comes at a cost. But, I mean, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. Let me know in the comments, definitely, how you feel about this change and being able to buy characters from Hall of Forms. Like, it was already the most fun mode that they added in the game since, I don't know when. Since pretty much Aether Raids, when Aether Raids first came out, and there were no mythic heroes to worry about scoring or anything of that nature. This is a mode that was just as fun as that. And now we're able to buy the units that we build. Like, come on. They can't do anything better than this. This is like exactly what we always wished for when we played that mode. So yeah, like, initial thoughts for me is that this is a good thing, but at the same time, I'm looking at that price tag and I'm like, is this really a good thing? But certainly it is more interesting than the Feh Pass for sure, I would have to say. The Feh Pass is $10, and then is the Feh Pass even really worth it? I mean, we can't really decide that. The things you get out of the Feh Pass versus the amount of orbs you would get if you just bought orbs are, like, up for debate. But the thing about this is you're still getting a pretty sizable amount of orbs along with the Forma Soul as well. So yeah, I mean, again, just to reiterate, this does seem like it's worth it, but if you're free to play, obviously you're probably not going to want to do it, so nothing's going to change your mind there. It's only really for people that spend money and they don't mind spending money. So not even like a whale either, just like, let's say you just play the game casually and maybe here and there you don't mind spending a buck or two. And this will probably be good for those types of people, so they can just buy their favorite Hall of Form character and already have them decked out with skills and get some nice orbs on top of that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this very crazy update, and gonna be insane moving forward. I don't know how they're gonna handle this, but like I said, they are choosing to balance it by making the units have neutral IVs. But then you see Finn on here, and then you realize, wait a second, isn't Finn a Tempest Trial character? So he would have neutral IVs anyway. So if you buy a unit like Finn from this, and then you just merge him to +10 with the Grails, and then he came already into your barracks with amazing skills from Hall of Forms, like, you're already set. Like, your Finn is gonna be the top percentage of Finn, pretty much. So yeah, like, I mean, in some ways it's bad. Like, if you're going for a 5-star unit, it's not like the craziest, but when it comes to units that would already be neutral in IVs, I think this is insane. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about this for now. And just to finish this video off, let's take a look at the weapon refines that we have for the characters. So Joggin, infamously the worst character in Fire Emblem history. He's got the Veteran Lance, and what it does here is gives him attack and res up 5 if the foe initiates on him while foe's HP is above or equal to 70%. So it's a conditional mirror stance, basically. It's not the greatest thing in the world. And then the extra effect is pretty much sabotage attack. If he has 3 more res than foes that are adjacent, they're going to take attack -7. So it's not the craziest refine, but it's still a pretty decent one. And it does make Joggin better, but I mean, come on, Joggin, he's Joggin. Like, what do you expect out of him? Okay, moving on to Gray. So this guy got Laid Back Blade. Effective against cavalry. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is above half or equal to half, grants all stats up 3 during combat. And then if the number of foes within 2 spaces, excluding the target, is greater than or equal to the number of allies in 2 spaces, excluding unit. Grants all stats +5 to unit during combat. Okay, that's pretty reminiscent of legendary Ephraim's weapon, I believe, where he does the same condition, but he gets a follow-up attack. So all stats +5 and all stats +3. That's a pretty crazy stat stack, to be honest. And especially on a unit like Gray, I believe this guy had the boosted base stat total. So what is he at, like 162 or 163 BST? And then he also has +10 potential from Dragon Flowers. Like, I mean, this is actually going to be pretty nuts on him. Like, who already kind of had stats to begin with. So, a very nice refine for Gray. Okay, next up we've got Tobin. He's got the Jubilant Blade, and it's effective against armors. And at the start of combat, if unit's max HP is better than or equal to the foe's HP +1, grants all stats +4 to unit during combat. Alright, I mean, this is pretty much what they do to all of these guys that came out day 1 or have the day 1 BST treatment. They just try to stat stack them as much as they can to try and make them keep up with what we've been getting recently. But, I mean, it is definitely a good refine for him, and it's going to make him better. But he's not going to be, like, too crazy. Effective against armor is very nice, though. So, a decent but not as crazy update for Tobin. And finally, we've got Olwen here. Really, she did not need the refine. The one who really needed it was Blue Tome Olwen. But of course, that one's got Dire Thunder, and there is no way they're going to refine Dire Thunder. Because that would also mean refining Reinhardt, right? So they don't want to do that. Okay, but anyway, she keeps her Blade Tome effect, and then if an ally initiates combat against the foe within 2 spaces of unit, inflicts speed and res -5 on that foe during combat. Alright, so this is reminding me a little bit of what Darja has, where she does, I believe it's attack and speed -4 to foes in 2 spaces. So this is a pretty good one, and it's going to help your other units out in combat when they're fighting and they're in vicinity of her. But it doesn't actually help her personally like the one that Darja does, where it just says all enemies within 2 spaces are going to suffer the stat drops. So she can't help herself with this, unfortunately, but it is going to help your allies, and she already had a Blade Tome anyway, so, like, did she really need a refine? I personally don't think so, but it is going to make her, I guess, slightly better. So that's pretty much it for the refines, and that's going to wrap up the video, guys. I know we had a lot to cover there, and we had some pretty huge bombs dropped on us, like this right here. So yeah, that's all I've got to talk about. I know this one went on for a bit longer than usual, but there was a lot to discuss. So let me know in the comment section what you feel about the Forma Souls and how you think they're going to affect the game. And that's pretty much it for this one. So as always, guys, this is Tacho signing out. Take care, and I will see you guys again in the next one.